stop having throat issues. Two, one. I clapped.
Hey. What you don't know is that, first of all, I'm wearing a whole sweater in the middle of the summer like a weirdo. But also...
Oh, what?
I'm wearing a whole sweater. What you also don't know is that I believe we're currently streaming live on YouTube. And that we had an intro with a song. So we'll see. We'll see how that works out for us.
I'm excited to watch that.
I am hoping it worked. I spent a lot of time on that today.
Oh, that'll be fun.
I'm just doing like a quick little baby YouTube check just to make sure. But hey, we're doing our best.
Just an FYI.
My goodness. I love this for me. We're on the internet. What can I do for you?
It's just an FYI, my Wi-Fi just said that it's unstable. So just want to let you know, just in case something happens.
This is not the time.
That it's telling us ahead of time. I know.
I love a warning.
It says I have 3 bars though, so we should be okay. I'll keep an eye on it, but we did just have like a really big storm. So hopefully it's like internet issues will be fine now that it's not storming. But just a disclaimer.
Thanks for the update.
Be a little sketchy.
Typical. I know this isn't the topic of the day, but I just want to offer this moment to tell you that I get married in 17 days.
I know! Are you just so excited?
Okay, I'm so excited. We can't obviously say what it is, even though you know what it is. But I finished Ryan's wedding gift today. And I sent it off to get printed.
I know. That's amazing. Oh, that's going to be such a special gift. I really love that idea.
Thank you.
That's so creative. I've never heard of that, but it's going to be a perfect gift. I love that for you.
Yeah, and it's like based off of a tool that we already like use and love in our normal life.
Right.
And I mean, like, it took me like 15 hours to create, and while I have Harry Potter camp this week at school. So like while I was in between sessions of Harry Potter camp, I was working very hard on this, and the like high schoolers who run the camp were like, "What are you working on? What are you doing? Like, why aren't you hanging out with us?" And I was like, "Guys, I'm really sorry. I just have to finish these like last little formatting bits." And then I showed it to them, and they're like, "Oh my gosh, that's so cool!" And I was just like, "Oh, thanks." But it just felt really good to be done with that after like
that's
15
awesome.
hours.
Yeah.
Yeah, and my 34 wedding tasks are down to 8.
Yeah, I don't blame you.
Oh my gosh. Yeah. So that's that.
Whoa, look at that.
I know.
You got to be feeling good about that.
I feel super great about that. One of my friends,
awesome.
offered to set up nail appointments for us the Wednesday before my wedding, and so she just texted me and she's like, "Okay, I have our nail appointments all set up. I'll pick you up. We're gonna go. It's gonna be so fun." And like I prefer to do my nails at home. I'm wearing some beautiful lavender syrup right now. It's very glittery, very beautiful. But I like don't love going to the nail salon, and I especially don't love going by myself. So the idea that like this was her idea and she was like, "Let's go together," makes me feel really good.
Yeah, that'll be awesome. It'll be a lot of fun for the two of you to go, and then you'll feel good about, your nails being professionally done for the wedding, and that'll be so fun.
Yeah.
I love that.
We're having a Tigger.
Oh, it's all coming together.
It's all coming together.
You're having
Additionally, Tigger is joining us. He's
Oh,
well,
the
he's
Tiggy Wiggies.
he's hesitant about it. He's standing by the door looking at me like, I don't know about you right now. And when you look at this video later, you will see that I've clearly spent a lot of time like reading / on my computer because the couch behind me looks like someone's been sleeping there. And I promise, no one's been sleeping there. It's just that like spent a lot of time reading and stuff on my computer as of late. After we did
Yeah.
our book podcast, I reread all of the Gallagher Academy books because talking about them made me excited. I'm on book 6.
Oh my god!
It super holds up.
I love that. Oh my gosh.
Yeah.
I gotta start that series. I started The Invisible Life of Addie LaRue, and I'm like halfway done with it. So I'm like, I'll finish that one first, and then I'll start Gallagher Girl.
It's
But-
good. You can read like
it's
one
so
book every
exciting.
like 4 hours. It's nice.
That's amazing. And girl, that's how I roll with books.
I know. Also, Allie Carter, the
Sit down,
author,
all in one sitting.
yeah, the author of Gallagher Girls, is releasing a new book this July. It's something like Blonde Threat or something, but it's like an adult spy novel, and it's a
Ooh.
girl who doesn't know she has a twin and doesn't know her twin's a spy, and then like she wakes up with amnesia in a car with this spy who's trying to save her life because other spies think she's the twin spy, but she's not, and she doesn't know anything. And so that comes out this month, and I'm really excited about it.
Okay, that sounds really good.
I'll vet
when
it for
you
you.
text me the title of that book,
Yeah.
I'm gonna have to pick that up at Barnes & Noble. That
Yes.
sounds really cool. You know how we love a good espionage.
I love
A good
spy
espionage
things.
moment.
I love mystery things. I'm just a
Right?
huge fan. Tell me about your new Taylor
Right?
Swift
Speaking
record.
of mysteries,
Oh.
dude. Oh, first of all, speaking of mysteries, Game 34. I'm waiting on a release date
Is there a
for the
title
34th Nancy
officially?
Drew game. I think so. Hold
Yeah.
1 second.
Hit me
Let
with
me
that
just
official
jump
news.
really quick.
And then I need an
I think
update on the Taylor Swift record, and then I have to tell you about my weird Scooby-Doo experience.
I need to hear about your Scooby-Doo experience. Okay.
Girl.
Where is Nancy Drew Games? Let me pop into their things really quick.
Is this on the
think
Instant
it's-
Grams?
It is.
It's on the gram?
It is. It is. It's under Nancy Drew PC Games. Is the handle.
I'm looking.
And it is
I'm sweating.
Mystery. Ready? Mystery of the Seven Keys.
Okay, we knew that. And it's in Prague! I'm sorry, I'm so
in
behind. Hi, everyone. This is when you learn that Kelly doesn't check the Nancy Drew Instant Grams very often. My cat is freaking out right
so
now.
Excited.
He's like, what are you doing? Why are you so insane? Hello?
I'm so excited. It looks so pretty. And I know how we feel about Game 33. That game was pretty, but it's not our fave. I'm still excited about this game.
I'm excited about this game as long as it's not trash like the last one.
We need more puzzles, and we need the point and click back.
I want the old point and click so bad. I so did not like the movement mechanic in this game.
Right? I eventually after 11 hours got used to it.
I made you do all the clicking, which is
still.
odd for us.
I know, because you were you were so over it, and I was like, I got it. It's fine.
I think I quit after an hour. Right? I think I rage quit trying to figure out this game mechanic after an hour.
You know what it's really similar to? It's really similar to Skyrim and Zelda. I think that's why I was able to handle it a little bit, because I'm used to it. It annoyed me, but it didn't annoy me so bad. I think it's because I'm used to that kind of game mechanic. With the other two, I hate doing it with a mouse though. You need a Joy-Con for that kind of a game mechanic.
Oh my goodness, yeah, that was tough.
Yeah. It was fine though. Hopefully this one, hopefully this one, maybe they like, even if it's not point and click, maybe they updated the software a little bit
Hopefully.
and it's not so terrible. But
Tigger.
I'm so excited.
Yeah, I'm excited too. Tell me
Yeah.
about your purple record.
Okay. Okay. So, I recently fell down the rabbit hole of Taylor Swift, as many people have been recently. On the 4th of July, my mom really wanted to see the Taylor Swift outfits like people wear to the Eras tour because it's like the People's Met Gala. So I went onto TikTok and I like just searched up a bunch of outfits, and then I fell down the rabbit hole of Taylor Swift and found out that she was releasing Speak Now, which was one of my favorite records in high school. Like, Red came out my senior year, but I listened to Speak Now and Fearless and Red all throughout high school. And so when she said she was releasing Speak Now on July 7th, I was like, I need that. I know like all the songs on it, so I had to go get it. And it's so pretty. It's purple. It comes in 3 different colors. So 3 different color purples. It comes in like lilac, lavender, and then like a plum color. I got the lilac one, so it's like not as, or maybe it was lavender. I can't describe mine. It's very purple. It's beautiful. There are 3 records that came with it. As well as like lyric pages, and it's so good. It was so fun to listen to this weekend when I was cleaning. I just like threw it on and listened to the whole thing, and it's just, I love it so much. I need to get the red one because I know she's come out with that, and I made it my personal challenge last week to learn All Too Well, the 10-minute version, and that's on that record. So I need that one. But I know. It's a commitment. I listened to that song a lot last week. But you'll be proud to know that of all the songs, that one I know the words to.
Proud of you. Proud of you.
Thank you. I was thinking of you the whole time. I was like, I finally learned the words to a song, and it's Taylor Swift. Callie's going to be so proud of me when I bust this out.
That's hilarious.
But yeah, I love colorful records. I love that that's kind of a thing now.
Oh my goodness.
Because I have the Speak Now one, which we know is purple. I have AJR's Neo Theater's blue. I don't have the orange OK Orchestra album. I just have like the regular black one, but the Click is kind of like a plum color. And then I have one more colored one, which is an Ariana Grande album, and it's glow in the dark.
Ooh.
Which is wild. So it's that like icy green color,
That's
but
cool.
it like, because it's the glow in the dark color. But I love that. I think colorful records are so cool.
Yeah, I think that's really fun.
I want to get enough records where I can, my glass shelves in my apartment.
Yeah.
I want to fill up a whole shelf. Like, I want one shelf to just be records.
Oh, that would be awesome.
And then, like, above it, I can do some more music stuff. But I have one empty shelf, and I was like, I already have one record on this shelf. It's an ABBA record. But I'm kind of gaining traction on my record collection, so I want to get eventually enough records to fill up a whole shelf and then, like, add music memorabilia around it, which I think would be really cool.
That would be really cool. I just tried to move to show you Tigger, and then I realized you can't see him.
I know. I'll be able to see him maybe when I edit this, but
True. Little Tigger is just all over the office right now. He like was running around the house screaming. Just you could hear his little raspy like. Arr! And then finally I convinced him to come in here, and I'm like, I just wanted to take a nap. I just want him to take a nap so that he stops running around. And he's looking at me like, how dare you?
Oh, poor Bubby.
My
I
goodness.
love him.
Also,
love
my high schoolers today were playing Speak Now Taylor's version while we were getting ready for camp, and I had this memory of like, I remember when this record came out, and they're like, Miss Owens, are you a Swiftie? And I was like, no, in high school you kind of just like, we all agreed to like certain things, and like we all agreed to like this album when I was in high school, just like as a society, collectively. Like we didn't argue about it. Taylor just had a full sprint, which is bizarre for Tigger, and he's screaming again. We all just kind of agreed we were gonna like Speak Now. We all just kind of agreed we were gonna like the Kings of Leon for a year. You know what I mean? Like, there were just things we didn't argue about as a collective group during that time, and that was it. And I like still knew all the old words, like the ones she changed, obviously I wasn't aware of yet, but like I was so surprised by how much of my brain space was the lyrics to Speak Now. And like I remember playing this CD. I still own the CD, by the way, because we're old now. But like I remember playing this CD for the first time at a family game night and like singing the lyrics off of the print on the inside of the CD jacket. We were playing dominoes.
Oh my gosh, that's so cute. Now you can bring the CD to my house and you can sing it here.
I'd have to unearth the CD. Believe it or not, my like compact disc collection is not on display in my home like your beautiful records. Those things are dusty in a closet somewhere.
That's okay. So are Dan and Kristen's. Theirs are like, they have a massive CD collection, and it's all just like, I think it's in the closet behind all of Dan's clothes. It's
yeah.
They haven't played a
30
CD
CDs.
That's amazing.
Yeah.
I had one. It was I had one CD. Plural or present day have one CD. It is the record or the album for the Wicked soundtrack.
Oh my goodness.
I don't know what happened to the rest of my CDs, but I had like, I don't think I had any Taylor Swift ones. I had some Miley Cyrus ones back when she was Hannah Montana. I had some burned CDs. Some of my friends burned CDs for me because they knew how to do that. And then I had, what else did I have? I remember listening to, I had Backstreet Boys. I never had a lot of CDs. I always had like, I think I bought like a dinky MP3 player for $10, and then
oh man, that's awesome.
Would like upload music at my friend's house.
I have some like,
because they knew how to burn it on.
Yeah, I have some truly prized. Like my friends and I made mixed CDs in high school and college, and we would like swap them. So I've got some of those still. Those are like, I've got some old Kelly Clarkson. I have all. And I mean all the Hilary Duff albums, every single one of them. I have like,
that's incredible,
a lot of Disney music. So and I don't have any that's like a movie. It's not like I have the Hercules soundtrack. I have like the Disney Princess compact and the like Disney classics. I have the blue one and the green one, and I have like the Disney Parks music and the Disney like 50th anniversary collection or something like that. Like I just have these cool kind of like these like curated compilations of Disney music. And then I have a lot of like Hannah Montana, got some old T Swift, my beautiful, perfect, wonderful mixtapes. I have a lot of like Paramore CDs. I have a pretty impressive collection of Evanescence CDs for some reason. I think I really liked them at one point. Yeah, I just have kind of like a bizarre collection of CDs in my house.
I feel like that's kind of how it goes, though.
Yeah.
Like, you get the CDs or the albums or the records of, like, the artists that you like.
Yeah.
If you like a whole bunch of different artists, then it's going to be kind of a mixed bag.
I'm so sorry. I have to walk away from you for a second. My cat is, like, I don't know what's happening to him, but he won't stop screaming.
Oh, my God.
And it's so abnormal for him. Riley, please talk about whatever. I'll be back.
Okay. I'm gonna wait to talk about whatever until she gets back because she mentioned Paramore, and I think it's important that she knows what I know about Paramore. I guess maybe I could talk about my next records. I want to get Noah Khan. I can hear her laughing in the background.
Oh my god.
I don't know what's going on.
I don't think I've solved the problem.
What is going on?
But I thought he wanted to go downstairs to the basement because maybe he had to go potty or something, and he's not there. So I walk upstairs, and he's just got his head sticking over the stairs because I have this ledge, between the wall that goes to my bedroom and the opening of the stairs. He's just screaming because I think he walked all the way to the edge of the ledge, realized there was no floor next to him, and then got scared.
It's such a baby.
Please. And then he walked himself to my bedroom door, turned around, and just screamed again. And I was like, no. It's not bedtime. It's 6:59 p.m., bro.
That's hilarious. He's such a little baby.
Okay, so if this was Milo screaming, I wouldn't have stopped the podcast for that, but it's like Tigger. He's such a quiet cat, so I just assumed he was dying, and no, he just forgot how to use the floor. Okay, I know we had a topic for this podcast, but I have to tell you about my weird Scooby-Doo experience.
Yeah, please do.
Have I started telling you about Scooby-Doo Mystery Incorporated?
A little. I think you told me you were watching it and that it was wild.
Y'all, if you haven't, first of all, we didn't start this podcast off right. If you don't have a personally addressed, notarized, embossed invitation inviting you to this podcast, get out. It's not for you. And I know we're supposed to talk about our childhood superheroes today, and I know that's the memory we're preserving, but it's a chaotic week, it's a chaotic life, it's a chaotic day. I have to tell you about the 2012 Scooby-Doo Mystery Incorporated show. If you haven't watched it yet, and you're Riley from the future, because I've already watched all of it, spoiler warning, but homegirl, you've had 10 years to figure this out, so I don't feel bad spoiling this for you.
Yeah.
It's Riley, I don't here's the thing. It's just that it's insane. And they're in high school, and they start off with Daphne and Shaggy, or not, no, Velma and Shaggy dating, legit, they kiss each other dating. But he's hiding it from Scooby-Doo because he's afraid Scooby's gonna be upset, and Velma is trying to change everything about Shaggy, and then surprise, surprise, it's a bad relationship, and they break up because Shaggy chooses his dog over Velma, and literally all Fred talks about and loves is traps, and Daphne has all these super successful sisters, and she's in this Mystery Incorporated, and her parents are trying to marry her off to all these wealthy men, one of whom is the heir to a ladder company. That's a bizarre little side plot for a moment. But she just wants to marry Fred, and they plan a high school marriage at one point, but literally in the first episode at the end, they get this mysterious message sent to them from someone named Mr. E, hilarious naming, by the way, who's telling them that there is a curse on the town of Crystal Cove, and that there were 4 kids and an animal in a mystery group before them who went missing 20 years ago. And they're solving a string of mysteries that helps them to answer the question, what happened to these other 4 kids and an animal? And when they find that out, they find out that there is this secret treasure that has something to do with this little golden pizza wedge that they find, and then they need to find 5 more golden pizza wedges, but then Mr. E turns on them, and then the 4 kids who go missing are really Mr. E's friend, and their animal companion was an evil parrot or bird thing that's coming back to pull the strings. And then Like they have to solve the mystery of the golden pizza before the old mystery people solve the mystery of the golden pizza. But then when they solve the mystery of the golden pizza, they find out that there were, like, going all the way back through time to the ancient Mayans, a bunch of 4 kids and random animals who were being manipulated by this evil entity who was trying to get them to set him free from a crystal sarcophagus. And then when the evil bird sets the thing free from the sarcophagus, like, it tries to end the whole world with these, like, weird Anubis monsters. And then in the end, Scooby, Shaggy, Daphne, and Velma banish the evil entity and go back to a timeline where, like, their town was never cursed by this evil, and now, like, everything's happy and wonderful and perfect, and they, like, feel really weird about it. And then the end of the show, which, by the way, was bizarre enough, like, is that they're going to go solve the mystery of the timeline that they were originally from, and, like, how to get back to that timeline and blah, 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 blah. But, like, I know I just described that and it seems insane, but dial that insanity up by, like, 30. Like, at some point they really say the phrase genuine gator mine. And I do mean a mine of alligators. At some point, they visit a demi-plane, okay, where, like, the best version of people are hidden to converse with a ancient goddess who is in the form of a spectral talking dog. The physical version of the talking dog, Scooby is dating but is presently in a coma after falling off a cliff.
Oh my god.
This show, Riley, you have to watch it. It's so insane.
I will watch it. It sounds insane. And you know I love a good Scooby-Doo.
You know, it's just one of those things where, like, you sit down to watch one episode and you're like, I'm gonna watch one episode, and then you kind of, like, freeze with your face in total shock, like, what did I just watch? I have to watch another one. I think I'm having a fever dream. And then you realize that the fever dream is 52 episodes long.
Fever dream shows are my favorite kind of show.
Girl, I don't think I'm gonna talk to you for the next week while you binge this show. It's bizarre.
I might have to start binging it tonight. I need a new show that I can just, like, kind of watch and get into, so...
Yes, please. It's Scooby-Doo Mystery Incorporated. It started in 2012. I need to see a Snapchat of you beginning this show today.
Is it on Netflix?
It's on Netflix.
Sweet. Okay.
I like...
Fever Dream that is 52 episodes long. When I tell you that Fever Dream shows and movies are my favorite... Girl, I need to be entranced by ridiculousness at all times.
Okay, so I tried to convince Sam to watch this show, and she was, like, being real curmudgeon-y about it. So I made her watch the first, I think it's, like, 4 maybe episodes. And when you get to the like, mystery of Alice, I forget what her last name is, I was, like, gonna quit the show. And then I watched that episode, and I was like, I'm in. And then I watched Sam watch that episode, and she goes, oh, okay. All right, I'm in. Like, I'm in. She's like, this show is stupid. And she just kept saying how stupid it was. And I was like, wait till you get to the episode. And then she watched it, and she's like, okay, I'm in. And then I haven't checked back up with her.
Oh my god, that's awesome.
Anyway.
Yeah, okay. You've sold me. I'm gonna watch it. I know that's really tight. I'm trying to fix it.
Really not at all what this podcast episode was about. I do, in fact, know that. How many childhood heroes did you come up with in the last 36 hours?
None are fictional.
All mine are fictional.
Actually, one of mine is fictional.
But how many total peoples? Fictitious or otherwise?
I could go with 3 or 4.
Perfect. I came up with 2, so you start and end.
Okay. Okay. Perfect.
Wait, I just came up with a 3rd one. It's fine. You still start.
Okay, I'm combining 2 of mine because one is like kind of, but I know I'm gonna talk more about the other one. Yeah, I'm combining those first 2.
Okay, are you going or not?
Wait, are we starting?
Yeah, just right.
Yeah.
I did a whole dance while you were processing out loud, so enjoy that later.
I couldn't see. I
I
can't
know.
read your facial expressions because all I'm looking at is an icon.
You could like
I mean,
theoretically mute
you are.
the live stream of this so you can see my face, but like it's too late now.
Yeah, it's silly now. It's been working so far. Okay. So I guess I'll start with my like two, because one is like kind of fictional and then the other one is not a fictional person. But like I feel like they kind of fall under the same realm. The first one, like the first fictional character that I remember looking at and like considering a childhood hero, you're not going to be surprised by this at all. Is Princess Leia. Hear me out.
I'm already
Listen.
in. Okay, first of all, I was really spiritually preparing for you to say the blind cat from Warrior Cats. And then you said Princess Leia.
Wait a second. I got 5. No, I'm
All right. Tell me about Debbie, or Carrie, whoever it is.
I could do a whole podcast on the blind cat from Warriors, but
One day I'm going to be on vacation and Riley's just going to take over. And you're going to be like, wow, why does this look so different today? And then you're going to realize I'm not showing up. And Riley's going to be like, it's Warrior Cats time.
Can you imagine? I'll record something like that for you on the drive home. I listen to it on the drive home.
Literally laugh so hard.
So you can just listen to this voice for as long as I decide to talk about something that is extremely niche and not at all relevant to our show. Anyway, Princess Leia. So I would consider Princess Leia to be one of my like fictional heroes. When I was growing up, I like, as most little kids do, I watched a lot of Disney movies, watched a lot of Disney princess movies. And then when my dad finally sat us down and was allowed to show us the Star Wars movies, we started with 4, 5, and 6, which are the Princess Leia, Luke, and then Han movies. And I remember at 6 being like so entranced by this woman who at like this point in my life I had only ever seen like princes rescue princesses. And I was sitting there watching this movie as this woman rescues herself from basically prison. Like she has these 2 guys come rescue her, and as soon as they show up, she's like, give me the gun, I'm taking care of it. And she like completes her own rescue. She's looked up to as like this huge general, and that was just like really, really cool for me to watch. Like that was my first, I would say, like, she's regarded as one of like cinema's first female heroines in terms of like she isn't being rescued by somebody. Mm-hmm. And I think the reason I looked up to her so much was because she, like, that was the first time I had seen that in a movie. Like, she didn't need... Now Disney movies, I feel like princesses rescue themselves a lot more frequently. Mm-hmm. But back in the day, that was not the norm.
The thing for us, no.
No, and so seeing Leia be snarky and snippy and, like, kind of mean to the guy giving her attitude while also taking his gun away and saying, get in the truck. Like, stay in the truck. I'll take care of this. It's fine.
Huge.
As well as, like, being a leader of, like, an entire, not just country, but, like, an entire planet. As well as, like, fight against the big bad once her planet is destroyed. Was, like, really cool that she, like, didn't become consumed by this, like, all these horrific things that happened to her. She used that as, like, the reason why she fights on. So that was just, like, whenever I think of, like, a fictional hero, she's the first person that comes to mind, because I would say she is, like, my very first fictional hero that I ever had.
I love that.
Thank you.
As much as I am often not a lover of space tag, I love the
Yeah.
idea that, like, this was a big deal to you. Like, the first time you got to see, like, a woman take charge and, like, hold
Yeah.
her own. And I, like, that's so much your experience. Like, you held your own with your brothers for all of your life.
Yeah.
And you have some, like, pretty good brothers, but, like, they're still brothers, you know?
They are. I do. Yeah, they are. Yeah, I remember being a kid and like we would play Star Wars in the basement. And like we all had lightsabers, but I would be Princess Leia. Like
Well,
I
of
would grab a
course.
Nerf gun and I would be like running around with my little ponytails pretending they were space buns and like I would be Princess Leia when we would play instead of like fighting with the laser sword
Yeah.
against Quinn, who was always Darth Vader. Um, but yeah, she not only like the character Princess Leia, but Carrie Fisher will always like hold a special place in my heart because Carrie Fisher's like the actress is very much Princess Leia in real life. People who knew her have said that in interviews. She acknowledged that. Um, so not only was she just like a really cool role model for, like Leia was a really cool role model for young girls, but the actress that played her held that standard in her own life as well, which was I just think is really cool. And a time in like cinema where that wasn't the norm. It was the 70s. That was not going on when
No.
like people were making movies. So yeah, that's
awesome.
my first one. Thank you. Okay, I'm gonna let you go. I talked a
right.
lot longer about Leia than I thought I was going to.
I'm gonna go in like chronological order. So like the
Okay.
way chronologically these people affected my life. And by people, of course, I mean cartoons, largely.
course.
But the first one for
Okay.
me was when I was little. I really loved the Powerpuff Girls, and I wanted to be Buttercup, like the green one, the sassy, tough, like spunky. Everything was scared of her, and she was never scared. Like just this like total brick wall of a kid. Bless you. Is what
Thank
I
you.
wanted to be. And I like think about this a lot about like I really loved the Powerpuff Girls between like the ages of 4 and 6. And between the ages of 4 and 6 is when like a lot of things really changed in my family. And like what was once like comfortable and normal became like big and scary, and I was having to cope with like sleeping in a different place every night and like transitioning all the time and like trying to understand like how things were going to be going forward. And like I was just remember being so afraid all the time and wishing so badly that like the scary things were scared of me, like in the Powerpuff Girls when Mojo
Yeah.
Jojo was even scared of Buttercup, you know. And like I so badly wanted to be like unafraid and tough, and like I wanted to be the thing that scared the things that scared me. And like I just looked up to this tiny flying 5-year-old thinking like if only I could be like scary like you, then I wouldn't be scared anymore. And I just
Yeah.
like held this little flying kindergartner in the highest regard because like she was like the bravery that I needed.
Yeah.
Also, Tigger
I
update,
really
he's
love
finally
that.
decided to lay down.
He's no longer scared. He's no longer scared of the floor. He made it.
You remember how floors worked? But he decided to lay on top of his like enclosed bed. So like he could have gone in it, you know, like it's intended to be, but he's decided to lay on top of it.
This boy is going through it tonight.
I don't
My goodness.
know what's wrong with him today, but he woke up
He's
and
just-
chose confusion.
Yeah, apparently. Oh, jeez. At least he settled down.
Yeah.
It may not be in the most conventional place, but at least he's settled down.
Yeah, there hasn't been any crying recently, so that's huge.
Very true. little raspy cough
Oh my god.
cries.
He's just a little wheeze, you know? He just needs a collar that says wheeze.
He does. Absolutely. I'm
Yeah.
gonna see. Maybe I can find one.
He just got a
The
new collar.
collar.
It's light blue and it's got little fishies on it, and he's very handsome.
Oh, I love that.
And Tiny
He's
Cry
so cute.
also got a new collar that's like blue and white stripes with a little bow tie, and he's very handsome.
What handsome nephews I have. They're so sweet.
In fairness, Krylo
I
thinks
miss
the
them.
bow tie is food, so we'll see how long he remains handsome.
That boy is something else.
I my fiance is taken to calling him Brick almost exclusively because he remembered that Kylo's
Really?
name used to be Brick.
Can you imagine if he starts like going by that name
My goodness.
now? Like he only responds to Brick.
To Brick, oh my gosh, it would just undo like a year's worth of everything. Like,
Well, you know he loves his dad more than anything in the world. So if his dad is calling him Brick, he might just start
his
going.
dad has been gone for 4 days and will be gone for the next like 5 days. So Tiny Cry is really having a tough time.
Oh, poor guy.
Yeah, all he wants
He
is
loves
his
his dad.
I know.
I don't understand why I love Ryan, but like, why is Krylo so obsessed with Ryan? Like, where did the obsession come from? Is what I want to know.
I would love to understand. The funny thing too is that the boys went on vacation to their future grandparents' home recently. Like when we went to my sister-in-law's wedding, the boys stayed at Ryan's parents' house, and Ryan's dad would go get Milo to come hang out with him, and Milo would just want to hang out with Ryan, and his dad was like, why won't he be my friend? And I was like, you need Ryan
Because
to
he's
leave.
obsessed with Ryan.
Truly obsessed. Like Tigger liked Ryan's mom. Tigger liked Ryan's sister. Ryan's dad just wants the cats to love him. And the cats are like, who are you?
That's hilarious.
So funny.
I'm obsessed with Milo's obsession with Ryan.
Oh, yeah, you have to be. You have to be. It's
It's
just the cutest
so
thing I've ever
funny.
seen. Yeah.
And the way that he cries at the door like a dog for Ryan is just incredible.
It's so loud.
So loud.
It's like, it's become more of a howl than a cry these days. It's a little intense. Anyway.
Oh. Anyway,
Milo's
I love
childhood
that.
hero is my fiance. Riley's next hero is...
No, I don't know who I want to go next. You'll appreciate this, I think. This isn't like a fictional hero, but it's not somebody that I know personally. I want to, like, I would say that one of my heroes growing up was probably Jenna. Jenna
Meeblis?
Marbles.
Oh, okay.
Meebles.
Meeblis.
So I started
Miss
watching
her.
Jenna when I was 14. I was a freshman in high school when I first started watching her on YouTube. And so as I grew up, like her channel started evolving, like as I was growing up. And like her early videos weren't really the ones that I looked up to. I just kind of thought they were funny, but it was the later videos when she would like give advice, like her 30th or like her 200th video, I think, like she would give advice. And it's not something that like I think about regularly, that like she was a role model or like that I look up to her or whatever, or that she was a hero of mine. But like as I was reflecting on this for the last 36 hours, I like came to realize that without even realizing it, I think she was a role model for me just as I was growing up. And I only say that because there are so many things in my life that I do because of her. Like and it's some of it's stupid stuff. Like I won't take my shoes off at a party or a wedding until I get home, right? Because per Jenna, till home do we part
Yep.
regarding our shoes.
That is true. She won't do
But
that.
there's so much of just right, exactly.
Yeah.
It's not a safe thing. As much as it feels good to take your shoes off in public, don't do it. But even in just like my day-to-day language, the language that I probably use a Jennaism once or twice a day still, and I haven't watched her in however long. She hasn't come out with anything new in God knows how long.
It's been 4
but even-
years. It was on my 22nd birthday that she left.
Oh yeah, that's right. That's so crazy. Yeah. I feel like I can't talk about like people that I look up to without including her in that list because of how much, like, even still, as somebody who hasn't seen anything new of hers in 5 years, like how much it still impacts my day-to-day life. So yeah, I felt like you could appreciate that. They know that you love Jenna.
I miss her so much. And I capped this list at I capped my list at 5th grade. So like these were my heroes from 5th grade and lower. So I was really intentional about like when I was, sorry, I just lost my whole mouth. When I was baby Cal, like when I was just a little tiny bean, like who are the people that I desperately wanted to be when I grew up? So like if I was making a list of just like who are my heroes throughout my lifetime, like I would love to emulate the silliness and the kindness of Jenna Marbles. Like I just think that she is a person who like desires at the core of her being to make people smile, make them feel cared for, and help them to know that like she loves them, you know? And like even when she used to say things like, sometimes I just feel like it's my job to give you an internet hug. Here's my internet hug today. Like that's the kind of love I want to give to people. Like I can walk into a moment and say like, hey, I just know that you need like a hug today, or I just know that you need a laugh today, or I just know that like you need this and I want to be here for you. Like that's something that I really admire in other people, and I thought that she did so well.
I agree. I felt like she created a community that was so welcoming that like even on days that she wasn't putting in like, you know, she would come up with ideas and like little skits and stuff, and she would do the whole like production thing with the videos, but some days she would just sit down and like play Elder Scrolls.
That was so fun.
And that was her video. Or like she would just like sit down and like teach Marbles how to sit
on hard surfaces because he could sit on carpet.
And like even then people were just like more than ecstatic to see that type of content from her. I feel like there are so many people out there who could put out that same content, and people would be like, why did you, like, what the heck? Where's the normal video that we're expecting? I felt like Jenna created such a warm environment that like people felt so safe and like comforted just by sitting and watching her content. And that's something that I just really admire. And like as a kid, like going from laughing with her to like growing up with her, like it just became such a I couldn't say that I didn't look up to her, that she wasn't one of my childhood heroes.
Yeah, no, I 100% agree. Like so deeply agree. Like whatever she's doing now, I'm just so happy that she's happy, you know? Even if like I still wish she would come back and just be like, hey, here's your 4-year update. Here's what I've been up to. See you 4 years from now. You know, like I would I would love to know, just because I miss her.
I agree. I know. I watched a couple of her videos the other night. I just was like scrolling through YouTube, and it was the old like watch TikToks with me, and so I watched that series, and then I watched a couple of the like bad app ones, and
Oh,
they're so funny.
you
They're
want to
so
know
funny. I just
what video immediately popped into my head when you talked about this? I had two. The first one
huh.
was I make a romp hymn for Julian, where she made him a romp hymn. And the second one is when she made him a fully functioning Princess Peach costume.
Oh my god.
It was just so funny.
And I totally thought that you were going to say the one where she makes like the bottom, like the under the stairs
No,
cupboard, the Harry Potter cabinet,
absolutely not. No.
her dog room.
Oh my goodness.
What about the Jean chair? That was also a
Stop.
classic.
That was cursed. Okay, dog train. Do you remember when she made a dog train?
Dog trains. You know what video? It's not like a whole video of hers, but it's like a clip from a video. It's when they went camping in their backyard and there was a fly in the tent. And Kermit went absolutely ballistic. And
After a bee, and he had like literally just gotten back from the hospital after being stung by a bee.
and the two of them, Jenna and Julian, are both dying laughing. Like what do you do? Like the dog is just absolutely losing his mind over this bee. Oh my god. I was watching that the other day. I was just crying. It was so funny. Oh, so
All
many
right.
good laughs.
I'm gonna
You
leave
are
you with
next,
this.
my dear.
I'm gonna leave you with this one thought, and then I'm gonna go next. Riley,
Okay. Yeah.
I'm leisuring.
Oh, girl.
Girl, I
are
made
you
the
doing?
pose when you watch the video later. I'm leisuring. All right.
I'm leisuring. I have a picture of you leisuring in my dorm in college.
No respect to Miss Marbles because we know. I'm sorry, Mrs. Marbles because she's married now.
I know.
But my leisuring photo I think is better than her leisuring photo.
It's pretty exquisite.
I think I have 4 blankets on.
Yeah. It is exquisite. You have a glass of wine, as you should when you're leisuring.
That's one
or a
before
glass
the
of
grape allergy.
some substance. And you had the sunglasses on.
Yeah. In the contact era. Anyway, okay.
Yeah. Anyway.
After I was little baby Powerpuff Callie, I really started to get a lucid memory of Disney movies, meaning like I could actually remember the movies. Sorry, this is the moment I just realized that the window of my neighbor's house that lines up with my office window is their bathroom window, which is, I think, legitimately in their shower. Sorry, that was a weird moment for me. Anyway, I started to get a lucid memory of like Disney movies, and I would say that my next hero in life was Princess Jasmine.
Yes.
Because
she's
Homegirl,
amazing.
like nothing got past her, and she was not going to be told like how things had to be and what things needed to look like. And as a like sassy adult who was also a sassafras as a kid, like I loved seeing a person like immediately know when someone wasn't telling her the truth, and immediately know that it was Aladdin, and immediately like be able to say to people like, you can't make me do that. I'm not gonna do that. You know, like she said to Jafar, like, do not talk to me like that. Don't. You know? And just like this person being able to like stand up for herself in a way that like I didn't really feel like I could as a kid. Was like just really inspiring to me. But likewise, she seemed to have this superpower to be able to like see things for what they really were. And I really wanted that. Like I remember feeling like hoodwinked as a kid or like blindsided. And like wishing that I had this superpower that she had to be able to look at a person and say like, no, I know who you are. Like, I know
Yeah.
you're not some fancy prince. I know you're that street rat I fell in love with, you know? Or even like,
Mm-hmm.
hey, I know you're not some knight in shining armor. Like, I know you're here to hurt me in the end, you know? Like, just to have that, which was not her
Mm-hmm.
case, but was certainly mine, you know? Like, to be able to have that
Yeah.
ability to, like, see the world in a way that others couldn't, was something I prized and I
Mm-hmm.
wanted. So Princess Jasmine was my number two.
Yeah. I love that.
Yeah.
I love both of yours. Both Buttercup and Jasmine for like both reasons. They're such strong
Yeah.
women. They're strong female role models for little people to look up to as just like in general. And they're just I remember watching Powerpuff Girls and being like, wow, Buttercup is so cool. And just I don't remember much of it now because it's been a minute, but I think it's like the reasoning behind your role models is really cool. And I'm so happy that you had role models like that in fiction. I think it's just so important for kids. I think it's important for kids to have, to be able to be like, to feel like there's like to have that kind of a like that representation of like what could be, I guess.
Yeah.
Like these are like to look up to and like learn from, right? And like and to grow with. I don't know. I'm trying to find the right words here, but I think yours are just I think they're really awesome.
Thanks.
And awesome little role models for little Cal
Well, and I think
to be
like
looking up to.
when you know me as a grown up, you see that
Mm-hmm.
like, oh, you really were shaped by these people, and like in those events in your life
Exactly.
where you like needed that strength or you needed that vision or you needed that like intuition, like I see how those like charisms have shaped me as a grown up, and I know that I needed those things in like specific and difficult times in my life, but like developing those superpowers has like really shaped me into who I am as a grown up. And I
I
think
agree
like
100%.
I think the thing for me, and maybe like the words you might be trying to find, so like tell me if this feels right to you, is that like for me to have a embodiment, whether that was fictitious or like human, of the like virtues that I needed was helpful to me. Like for me to be able to
Yes.
see the bravery I needed was helpful to me. For me to be able to see the perspective and the ability to have perspective that I needed was helpful to me. And it's not even that these were like real flawed people, but like some form of embodiment of like what I needed to grow and thrive in difficult moments. And just looking back, and it's why my heroes aren't people, right? Because it's not that I didn't have good people in my life growing up. It's just that those people weren't like the perfect embodiment of the bravery that I needed, because they were people. You know what I mean? Like they couldn't have been that. That's not possible for them.
Right. I think you worded it perfectly.
Thanks.
You got to my point exactly how I was hoping to word it. You found the right words.
That social work license coming in strong.
Girl, I read once that like people like see the things that they see in media, and like whether it's a show or it's a influencer, they start to embody those people, whether it's intentional or not. Like they just start to act like them. And like I gave the example, I use Jenna-isms in my everyday life. I don't even think about it. I just watched her so much growing up that I just started adopting mannerisms of hers. And that wasn't intentional. That was just a thing that happened. And I think you being able to grow up with these strong role models like Buttercup and like Jasmine, this was something that like, whether it was intentional or not, was also something that happened with you. Like, I think of Buttercup as you described her as somebody where, like, she is strong and she has this aura about her where, like, even the scary things are scared of her. And I don't, like, personally, I don't see you as a person that people are scared of, but I see you as somebody that people take seriously.
Oh,
And
thank you.
I think that's, at least I take you seriously. I'm speaking from experience here. But I see you as somebody that people take seriously. And I think that's a trait that, like, through adopting the traits of Buttercup unintentionally, like, helped shape you as a person. With Jasmine, you're somebody who doesn't take people's bullshit. You're somebody who sees through transparent people, and I think that is a superpower. Like, you, that's a perfect way to describe it. It's a superpower that you got from growing up with Jasmine, seeing the way that she interacted with the people who were trying to manipulate her, and, like, learning from that and, like, adopting those traits as your own. And so, like, I've said this before in other podcasts, you're an extremely strong person. And I really do think, like, hearing just from other podcasts, as we've talked about different things on, like, the books that you used to read, the characters that you looked up to. I really do think you said it perfectly. Like, they gave you the virtues that you needed the most in a time that was, like, exceptionally difficult. And it helped you grow into the person that you looked up to.
Yeah.
So I just love it. Yeah.
I was laughing to myself as you were talking about, like, you don't take stuff from other people, and remembering, like, one of my first words to you being, like, you need better friends. Like, I really gained that, like, perspective to see things in a way that maybe, like, other people can't see for themselves, and to just, like, wholeheartedly put that forward. And like, I don't think we've told this story before, but one of the first things I ever said to Riley is, you need better friends. That was it. No explanation. Yeah. She did not take that advice for a while, and she should have.
To be fair, I didn't know you as well then as I do now. Had you said that to me, like, now,
you would take it seriously. You'd be like, I'm sorry. Yeah, you're right.
I'd be like, all right, I'm going to reflect on that.
All right, give me your last hero, girl. Last one. Let's do it.
Okay, so I decided to combine my last two. The last two are people in my life that I know. One of which is my Uncle Garrett. I'm going to just talk briefly on him. I think that with the age difference that we have and the amount of time that we spent together when I was growing up, he was kind of considered, I call him the honorary older brother of my siblings and I. Because he certainly acted like it. And I feel like, as somebody who had kind of, like, who never had an older sibling, the relationship of, like, a younger sibling looking up to an older sibling and wanting to be like them, and thinking they were really cool and that all their friends were really cool and wanting to do the things that they do, was definitely, like, a huge part of my childhood. And I'm grateful that he was willing to share that, like, as somebody who wasn't, like, actually my brother, but we, like, my brothers and I at least, have a lot in common with him. And I think it's because, like, he embraced us as his young little minions, trailing around him like ducklings for 20 years. And then the last person that I would say it was one of my childhood heroes was my grandpa, actually. I, like, always grew up loving the advice that I got from him, and, like, I remember just taking it really seriously every time he would, like, try to give me advice. And, like, it's not like my parents didn't give me advice on stuff, but it's different when a grandparent does it, or is it somebody who's outside of like your household who does it? But I always remember like really wanting to make him proud as a kid, and something that like he always, one of his like ideals of success was always like, if your kids do better than you, then you are successful. And so I've like, you know, like if your kids are able to support themselves better than you were, like you're working to help them like create a better world for them and help them like make life easier for themselves and all of that. If they are finding a way to support themselves and they are happy and they are, you know, all the good things, like then that was his version of success. And so that was something that I really looked up to. So yeah, I would say the two of them were just, they were childhood heroes from the beginning, just in the way that they were like, we were all so close with them. And I just really valued everything that my grandpa taught me from the time I was like old enough to start writing to the time I got my last job. So yeah, but that's my last one. I decided to combine the two of them.
I love that.
Because they're related to each other.
Well, I think they're both like such good fits for you because like for better or for worse, in large part they've lived with you before. Like you are such a like a joy-filled copy of your grandmother and such a joy-filled copy of your mom in a lot of ways that like of course you were your uncle's little sister because you were also his big sister, you know, and of course your grandfather knew how to give you perfect advice because he'd been married to your grandmother for how long, and he raised your mom, and he like saw this spirit, and he just knew how to love you because he'd already loved you, you know, like through these other people.
Yeah.
And your uncle too, like they both have this gift of knowing the right thing to say to you because like they already knew you, you know?
Yeah.
And I just think
that's a really
such
cool
a
way
gift
to look at it
for all of you, you know, like to have a soul that you you already know and you already love because you've loved them before, you know, and to like get to be loved by these people who just know you, and it's easy for them to know you is like such a gift.
Yeah, I really love that. I never thought of that before, but you're absolutely right that they knew how to handle this because they had already handled it before.
Yeah.
That's really cool. I love that.
Yeah.
That's my last one.
Beautiful. My last one isn't going to be nearly as beautiful as yours. You should have gone last.
No!
But so I, like, just to remember, like, I capped my childhood heroes at 5th grade. So, like, there are so many more, like, wonderful, beautiful, actual real human beings who, like, affected my life. But I, like, capped at, like, the beginning of 5th grade. And so my, like, last childhood hero is not a cartoon character, but is, in fact, a literary character. It's Miss Hermione Granger. Yeah,
girl.
I just, like, and you can see how, like, the influence has tracked over time, right? Because by the time we're in 5th grade and I am in full-fledged Harry Potter mode, like, Hermione is, like, braver than everyone around her. Like, when there needs to be a plan, and when somebody needs to be the person who, like, starts it, and when somebody needs to do the scary task of, like, propelling people forward, like, Harry gets a lot of glory, but only because, like, he rode on the wisdom, the knowledge, and the bravery of her, right?
Yeah.
When somebody needs to, like, approach this insane situation with, like, a calm, logical, reasonable mind, when somebody needs to be able to see something for what it is, like, it's her. Like, she's always the voice of reason saying, like, all right, meatheads, let's simmer down here for a minute, okay? Like, we need to, hey, you are being insane. We need to talk about this.
Yeah.
You know, but the thing that she has that I think, like really drew me to her as a role model is like her wisdom. And it went far beyond like she knew something that nobody else knew, and I actually love that. Like I have a like a compulsive need to know things. If someone presents me an idea that I haven't thought of before or I'm not familiar with, like we all know what I'm reading about for the next 10 days so that I become a tiny expert on these things because like I just have this voracious curiosity. But I've always had that voracious curiosity, and to like see that like joy of knowing things and joy of like being able to apply that knowing of things like through this character who was brave and outspoken and like respected. Like people respected the knowledge that she had. Even grown-ups so far beyond her age called her, "You really are the brightest witch of your age," you know? Like there was something about the way that she could see, know, and act that like people admired, myself included, right? Like I already struggled as like a little baby 5-year-old with action. Like I was scared, and Buttercup taught me how to act, right? And after I learned how to act, I needed to learn how to see, because like you can't do anything good if you don't know what you're doing, right? And so like just the idea that Jasmine showed me of like being able to see the world for what it is and not what it pretends to be. But Hermione had something that like those two didn't have, and it's that she knew. Like she had a voracious curiosity, and she desired to know things, and when she knew things, it was good for the people around her, but it also brought her joy. And it wasn't just that she could do things, it wasn't just that she could see what she needed to do, but she also had the knowledge to help her to achieve that, and the wisdom to make the right choice. And that was something I wanted, like the culmination of these like 3 women, fictitious and children, I might add, who like helped me to become like a person who could see, know, and act. I needed their example, and I needed their witness, and just the way that they were able to like do this for me as a little girl. Like I was no more than 10. I capped this list at 10-year-old Callie. Like I still look up to them. I still look up to that radical bravery, and I still look up to that radical honesty, and I still look up to that radical curiosity. Like even as a grown-up, I still feel the way that these people are inspiring me a decade and a half later, you know? There was something you said earlier that like sparked a comment I was going to make, and I don't remember what it was, so it must not have been important.
Oh no!
But it like fit with what I was saying, you know? I was like, oh, Riley said this thing, and now I'm going to like tie it all back, and it's going to be full circle, and then we're going to have this like beautiful little bow on the podcast, and it'll be perfect. Do I know what it is?
It happens.
No. Yeah, I have no idea.
It'll come back to you the minute we end the podcast.
We are going to end this podcast. I am going to text you, it was this thought, and then like you're going to add it to the highlights video. Hey, here's the thought, Callie. Couldn't remember. Boo.
Yeah. No, you
absolutely I remember. You were talking about how, like,
Okay.
it was these, like, strong female leads. I have a friend, like, my best friend, who's not my fiance, right? And he always says, when he recommends something to me, he goes, don't worry, it's got a strong female lead. Like, I'm actually so affected by these, you know, characters from my youth and so inspired by these women that, like, I don't really know how to watch things with a male lead. Like, I don't know how to function in that space, you know? Like my family was a matriarchy. I was already not prepared for a patriarchal world. Like we are just a women operated family, okay? First of all, there's so few men in my family, but second of all, like the women in the family are like, this is what's happening. And then all my role models as a kid were like fictitious women, and then like even the positive role models I had as like a teen and a young adult were all like women. And so when somebody recommends something to me, if it doesn't come with the label includes a strong female lead, like I don't know what to do with that information. Yeah. Like
I've heard him say that before to you about things.
Because I don't know what to do with it if it doesn't. You know what I mean? It's like, here's a show about dudes being dudes. Why? do they do that? Why do they
Why?
act like that? Why do they say that? I don't think I like them. They seem stupid. Why am I watching this? Where are the women?